All right. Hey, everybody. My name is Will Spengler, and today I want to talk about a models within the recruiting agency. And I'm going to also introduce Frederick Fox's market position and what we're pioneering here as an agency, how we fit in, why we're different, and why we're better, and what we offer executive search professionals in this industry. So, I'm going to kick off with the employee model, and you can see this diagram here. I'm going to differentiate between an employee model, a 1099 or corp to corp platform business, out to the right, becoming a business owner, right? And this is a progression a lot of agency people go through the further in they're into the industry, where you essentially become the owner and you flip the script and you hire 1099s or W-2s and you become yet again another agency saying the same thing, doing the same thing with a different letterhead, and now you've done what I call the rinse and repeat. You've put yourself in the business ownership shoes, and nothing wrong with that. Um, but when we set out to build Frederick Fox, we have a different market position, and we look at it as somewhere in between the 1099 and the business owner. Um, and I'll get into why it makes sense and why we built it. But I want to start with the employee model. So let's zoom in on that. All right. So out to the left, let's just talk about the employee model. And everything to the right, just forget about for a second. So I'm an employee. I work for a large firm and I get 50,000 a year base plus 20% commissions. Not bad. That has good security. I can count on a paycheck every week. I'm still learning the business, so I need training, I need support, and the $50,000 base keeps food on the table. It's a great position to be in. Let's say I'm an employee and I end up billing 500,000 a year. So how much do I earn in this formula? Well, I earn my base at 50,000 plus 500,000 times 20%, so I earn an additional 100,000 in commissions. I earn 150,000 a year if I can bill 500,000 a year as an employee in a recruiting agency. So how much am I giving to the house? I'm giving to the house $350,000, right? So I'm taking home 150 and I'm giving to the house 350,000. So what is the house giving me, right? Well, I would argue that these large agencies, they would say, we're giving you marketing material, we're giving you a back office, we're giving you market position and leverage, training and support. So the argument you hear here a lot is, well, you earn less, but you can bill a lot more and you're on a good team. So it makes more sense. Plus, you have stability, security, a 401k, benefits. That's not all smoke and mirrors there. And that is very true. And that's why a lot of people stay in the employee model. What's the career path of the employee model? Well, you could take on additional bonus, right? You could get a higher base. So instead of 50,000, you go to 70,000 because you become a senior executive recruiter. Now you're earning 70 plus 100. You just got a 20, let's say 20, $30,000 raise. Maybe that 20% becomes 30%. Or what they do is they move you into a branch manager type role, leadership, where you've got a budget to hire, train, and then earn. Typically, they give you a P&L, and you typically get about a 10% spoof on the net income or profit of your business. So now you're earning 170,000 on your personal production, plus 10% on, let's say you have a $2 million perm team. After they cake in on their bottom expenses, you may earn another, I don't know, 10, 20, $30,000. So now you're earning $200,000 a year. And what did you do? You just hired, trained, built, and produced one of the hardest roles. What typically ends up happening for people in this situation is they end up billing less personally and taking on leadership and management and actually making less money overall with a lot more responsibility and pressure. Okay, so that's the employee model. Nothing wrong with the employee model. Let's go into the 1099 or corp to corp platform business model, right? 1099 independent contractor, all commissions at 80% of billings. Okay, that sounds nice. So let's do the same math. I'm earning 500,000 a year. Now I'm earning 80% commissions. If I bill 500,000 a year, I make $400,000 a year with the 80%. And so in as an employee, I'm making 150,000, but as a 1099, I'm making 400,000. We're doing the same thing, arguably, right? When I first looked at that, I was like, holy cow, that's a no-brainer, right? But a lot of people struggle with this mentally, right? And it's because there's no base salary, there's no security, there's no 401k, there's no benefits, right? But you have to actually step back and start to quantify each of those selling items. And for most people, it makes sense to stay as an employee, and there's nothing wrong with that, right? But there lies in that entrepreneurial itch to become a 1099. Okay, so I think the main argument that people get to is I bill 500,000 a year regardless. My base salary becomes meaningless. I want to be in a different formula. I want to earn more on what I bill. If I'm going to do this year in year out, the 50,000 doesn't make sense anymore. I'd rather have a better equation that I'm in, right? So that there lies that 1099 platform business, right? Where you're earning 80%. Well, so what does the 20% get you that you're giving to the house? So you're giving $100,000 a year to the house. What does the house give you, right? They're still giving you marketing material. They're still giving you back office support. But I put in red, training and support. Really, they don't have enough money to really give you training and support. And their argument would be you're a senior level recruiter. You already should have been trained and already shouldn't need the support, right? And then let's talk about market position and leverage, right? In a 1099 model, there doesn't really exist one where there's actually a true market position or actually leverage within it. Essentially, you're just I call these almost like spaghetti models. You hire anybody that's willing to sign up, come underneath one roof, and one minute you do accounting, one minute you do technology, one minute you do healthcare, one minute you roll out a national and international enterprise account system that doesn't make any sense. It's a spaghetti model, and the house keeps 20%. But they to their credit, they build a community of these 1099 folks, and they created what I think is a really great platform and a really good opportunity for people if they can bill 500,000 a year in this type of spaghetti model. Um, they can make a lot more money than they can as an employee, and they've got as an independent contractor the ability to set their own hours, be their own business. A lot of great perks to being an independent contractor, but still in a community model. I did that for 2.5 years. I loved it, right? So let's talk about the career path of that, though, right? You have a partner program, or let's say a leadership program in that type of model, where you're recruiting other people and other independent contractors in, but you have no equity, you have no ownership in what you're building, right? You have no control of the back office expenses that are being applied to your P&L. So in a sense, you're building the y- the house, right? In this sense, you're building the house's business for no override and no equity. It may be a small slither of override, right? I shouldn't say no. That's too definite, right? And maybe there's a senior partner program or some kind of senior level thing where you have a super diluted amount of equity, right? Where if you would have just built your own business, you would have within the first year had equal amount of the equity, right? So I think therein lies that problem, that independent contractor model. There's no business growth within that model. Also, it's not a true platform business because you don't own the contracts, you don't own the contractors that you have out. You don't own the actual fee agreements that you have with your clients. You don't for tax purposes, you own as an independent contractor your own corporation. You can deduct taxes, but you don't actually own the business that you operate in. You're actually an independent contractor working for another business, not your own business. Big distinction. So I'm going to shift over to the business owner mindset. This is where the person says, okay, I want leadership. I want to grow a team. This model and this independent contractor model doesn't make any sense at all, right? We all complain about it. No one wants to do anything about it. So I'm going to go out and be a business owner, right? So let's skip the Frederick Fox market position. As the business owner, you become the house. Okay. Now you're taking on the insurance, you're taking on payroll, branding, marketing, funding, onboarding, financials, legal, advertising, and the list goes on, right? So it's not all smoke and mirrors to set up the house. Okay. As the business owner, you can hire 1099s. Maybe you rebuild the independent contractor model, or maybe you just do the same old, hiring W 2s right out of college, right? The old squeeze the lemon till there's no juice left. Okay. And 99.9% of business owners just build a standard agency model with W 2s and repeat the cycle. I call this the rinse and repeat, right? You were once an employee, you became an independent contractor, then you decided to build a small business. You realized, hey, I'm going to hire W 2s and squeeze the juice because I have all these costs at the center because now I'm taking on general liability, I'm taking on E&O, I'm taking on workers' comp, I'm taking on payroll, onboarding. It's not all smoke and mirrors, right? So, what is Frederick Fox and why are we different, right? What we did is we set up something in between what I would call the 1099 or corp to corp platform business and the business owner, right? We give partners in our organization ownership in what they build. We have a partner program that makes sense. We have a scalable and valuable equity stake, right? So essentially you get the business ownership plus you get the independent contractor, but you actually don't have the same as much risk because you actually own your business and you actually own the contracts in your business, right? Huge difference. Okay. We built a brand with an outward facing market position that has a market position and therefore leverage, right? Not a spaghetti model. Okay. When you're in a spaghetti model, you have no market position and therefore no brand leverage. As the independent contractor, I don't get brand leverage because the brand that I'm working for in the spaghetti model doesn't have a position or power with the clients, right? Within the Frederick Fox model, if you come in as an independent contractor, you have a scalable market position. That's a big difference, right? That gives a reason to the house to sign up. And then we have the ability for partners to build what we call a hybrid model situation, where you can build 1099 or W 2 within your business unit, and you can have a career path that has ownership, is scalable, and valuable. Okay. And you can do it within a community and you can do it earning the best of both worlds. So essentially, instead of what we've seen out in the industry is an employee model, which we know works, it's proven, offers stability, offers very brick and mortar career path. We've got the disruptor in the 1099 corp to corp model. We've got the business owner that goes out and does the rinse and repeat. And then we're introducing and pioneering a new market position. And within Frederick Fox, we are building that fourth tier. We're growing rapidly and we're looking for other like minded people that are looking for a stop in between the independent contractor model and the pure business owner model, where you want ownership, but you still want leverage, you still want a community, and you still want to work with other people and make a lot of money. And our team is doing very well in this position. So if you're interested in Frederick Fox, give me a call. Check out our website at www.frederickfox.com. I can be reached at 602 316 3743 or at wspengler at frederickfox.com.